What are the best life hacks for poor people? To all my fellow college kids who use Chegg as a lifeline, but can't afford it, use TextSheet.com. Copy the URL of the blocked Chegg page and paste, answer that you're under 13 on the survey, so they can't ask you anything else, and bam, an unlocked text of the problem solution. Eliminate food waste. Things you'd normally throw away like vegetable peelings and bones can be turned into flavorful stock for future meals. Something I do is save bread ends and or pieces of bread that got squished, stale, or whatever in a bag in the freezer. Once I collect a decent amount, I thaw them out and make some homemade stuffing. It's super tasty and feels fancy for just being bread, veggies, sage, and stock. Go to the library. Not only are there books there, but also you can check out video games, sewing machines, movies, museum passes. So much more. Not to mention the software, education, and events that can help you get a raise, promotion, or better job. Rich people throw out amazing stuff. If you know someone with a truck, you can go around the wealthy areas on garbage day and get all sorts of furniture, appliances, and clothing. A little cleaning, and maybe a few minor repairs and you have lots of stuff to use or sell. If you wind up homeless, get a Planet Fitness gym membership $10 a month, so you can shower every day. The one near my work also has free Wi-Fi. If you live close to one, Planet Fitness membership, $10 per month, and the location near me does free pizza once per week, and free bagels once per week. That's 8 meals for $10. Plus you can save on your water if you want by using their showers. Also, when you're broke, it's hard to kill time and not spend money. So go to the gym and use their Wi-Fi to watch shows while you walk on a treadmill. It's honestly a great way to kill time. Congee with a broth cube and leftover veggies and meat. When things are really tight, just rice, broth cube and water. 1 cup of rice with 6 to 8 cups of broth or water will stretch into several meals this way. It can be made really nutritious by adding more things, but when money's tight this can satisfy your belly. Also, make use of all social services available to you. All of them. You're poor. These services exist to help you get by and make things easier. Apply for them. Even if you're 100% sure you don't qualify, you never know how else they might be able to help you. If you have pets, find charities on Facebook that help provide food for pets to people with a low income. I can't tell you how much stress this took off my shoulders knowing I had enough kibble for my cats, so they wouldn't starve, and I could buy my own food instead. Don't be ashamed of being poor. I know people look down on you for that, but shame gets in the way of coping with poverty. Everybody can get poor at no fault of their own, if circumstances align right. Even if you made less than smart choices, got a drug habit, or whatever, you're not less deserving of basic human respect and kindness. Nobody is perfect, and poverty exists because governments don't implement or fund social services well, frick with minimum wage, etc. Everybody deserves to live comfortably and not have to turn over every penny 3 times before spending it, no matter how much character that builds. Poverty freaking sucks and still come up short on basic necessities. You can donate plasma and be paid $30, up to 6 times a month. Extra $180. It is supposed to hurt a little. At Walmart or most grocery stores you can buy a rotisserie chicken for wicked cheap. They're actually cheaper to purchase cooked instead of raw, and you can make several meals out of just the meat you scrape off the bones. I often make sandwiches or wraps and it'll typically last for like 6 meals, all for like $5. Then you get to use the carcass to make a stock. Manage every dollar you spend. Know exactly where your money is going. You can't reduce spending and save more if you don't understand where your money is going. There are a number of apps out there that help you budget and tell you what you're spending money on, Mint, Truebill, etc. Once you see the breakdown, you might notice that you're spending more on meals than you should. Or you had that subscription you forgot about that suddenly took $25 out of your account. Remember, being poor and being constantly broke aren't always the same thing. Sometimes you're just bad with money. Not sure it's a hack, but never ever let anyone or anything convince you that you're any less of a human being because of your shitty financial situation. So, in my area, boneless chicken breasts cost at least $10 for 2. A whole chicken costs about $10 or less if it's on sale. I learned from YouTube how to dress cut up a chick, so now I get 2 boneless breasts, 2 boneless thighs, 2 drummies and 2 wings for the price of 2 breasts. Also, you use the carcass and the bits of meat attached to it to make soup. Not a hack per recipe, but lean brown's good and cheap. leanabrown.com/cookbook/cookbook is aimed at cooking on a snap level food budget and downloadable for free in English and Spanish at that link. Buy the store version, or imitation brand version of things. Cheaper and it works the exact same save for a few exceptions. One is to go to missingmoney.com to see if you are owed money. This is full legit. Essentially, if a company can't find you, they give the money to the state, called escheatment, who holds it in escrow for you to claim. Examples are utility deposits, expired gift cards, insurance proceeds, overpayments on bills, bank accounts you forgot about, you name it. I ran it for my parents and they actually got $25,000 for an insurance policy that wasn't caught in probate. Drink only water. It's one of those ripple effect things that improves every other area of your life. I work in a welfare office. The number of people who are both 1 unable to afford proper nutrition supposedly and 2 morbidly obese is counterintuitive until you see the enormous sodas so many people travel with. It's incredibly easy to drink more calories than you think you're drinking, and the fattening nature of these drinks is all in the sugar content. Switch to carrying water instead of soda or other sweetened beverages and I assure you the following will happen. 1. You will save more money than you imagine. 2. You will sleep better. 3. Food will taste better. 4. You will have more consistent energy throughout the day. 5. Your skin/overall appearance will improve. And 6. You will lose weight. If you do nothing other than stop spending money on soda/sweet tea/etc and just drink filtered tap water, you will thank yourself. Source: was poor. Now I'm not poor. Still drink only water and unsweetened coffee. I'm over 40 pounds lighter, sleep well, and feel better. When buying something that you expect to last, buy the cheapest version of it that makes sense. If it doesn't break and lasts forever, awesome. If it does break though, go out and buy the best quality one you can. If you broke the cheap one once, chances are you'll break the cheap one over and over again, so spending a bit more now will save future you from having to spend more money down the road. This is especially good advice with tools. Use coupons. I started doing this when I was making $8 an hour and still do it today. Take some time to add coupons to your account for grocery stores that do them online. Take some time to clip them from junk mail you get. In the average grocery trip, I still save between 30-40%. You don't have to be an extreme couponer or crazy person to save a lot of money. If you have to choose between keeping the lights on and paying for heat in the winter, keep the lights on. First thing in the morning, when you get up, turn the oven on if you've got one for a few minutes and let that warm up your kitchen. Unless it's gas, don't take the Sylvia Plath route out of misery. Get the cheapest old sewing machine you can find and hem and maintain your clothes. While lots of shooty clothes are super cheap, they fall apart after a few wears. When you can, buy decent clothes and take care of them. It will cost less in the long term. Get a library card. Libraries are sanity savers when you're too broke for other entertainment. As well, get a local schedule of events and go out when something is free or very cheap. Keep yourself occupied, even when you are struggling with money. Get to know your local bakeries and other businesses, in particular their baking and delivery schedules. Old product that didn't move, that needs to be sold or disposed of before a new shipment comes, gets big markdowns. You can get decently healthy food for relatively cheap. If you live in some states, you can make decent extra dough collecting cans and bottles. I went door to door collecting cans and bottles after leaving a super crappy job many years ago, and while it was sometimes fruitless and some people are less than kind to a person on their doorstep, I made more money that week doing that than I had at the job I had just left. A lot of people were thrilled that I was there to take their cans and bottles off their hands. I did it until I found another real job and got to know some of the other folks that did that for a living. Real nice people, very supportive of each other for the most part, as long as you stayed out of their territory. Do what you can to maintain your friendships and relationships. Poverty is, among many other things, boring and often very isolating. Stay connected to your people. Live with other people. Go out when you can. Suggest cheap things to do. Apply for free grants or student loans and study a useful major. My life was for I was depressed and couldn't afford to buy a bottle of water to I make $10k worth of salary a month and I'm relatively happy. Keep on keeping on. No one ever thought Joe Dirt was a philosophic masterpiece, but that is one of the most profound pieces of advice I have heard. Context: about the time the movie came out I was finishing college, graduated and moved home. Shortly thereafter my parents split and began a divorce. At the same time my 20-year-old brother split and began divorcing, moving in with my dad and I. Through the suicide attempts, my deployment overseas, medical issues with my body, we kept telling each other keep on keeping on. After departing from the military, I worked dead ends, then forced myself through grad school during a significant death in my new wife's family. I could keep rambling, but I kept on keeping on through family deaths, jail, foreclosures, etc. In the next 2 to 5 years I will now have all debt paid other than student loans, and will crest $100,000. Keep on keeping on. Little late to the party and this comment will probably get buried, but your local Sikh temple will feed you hot food any day of the week. No conversion or preaching. In fact, no questions will be asked. Just make sure that you don't drink or smoke before going in. Also, they will do this indefinitely. Some will also let you take food home if you ask them nicely. Sikhs have been feeding the hungry and homeless for 500 years, and it seems that service is needed more than ever today. There is no reason anyone should ever go hungry. That is one of the core beliefs of Sikhism. It's actually a pretty cool philosophy. Once or twice a year, your bank will forgive an overdraft. Call the main information line. When I was living paycheck to paycheck, this could be a lifesaver. If you're female, check out reusable menstrual products. There are plenty of affordable cloths pads on Amazon, or you can save even more by making your own. Menstrual cups are great too, but they come with a bit of a learning curve. Once you have your system sorted, you can stop buying disposables completely. Pads and cups last 10 years. Ask to speak to a social worker at the hospital when giving birth. Ask about the visiting county nurses or another home visiting program. Best thing I did with my kids, we had be a waitlist for a year, but now they get free daycare on Tuesdays and Thursdays through the county. Literally 100% free if you're poor enough. My home visitor comes and shoots the shoot with me every 2 weeks and brings me free diapers and clothing hand-me-downs from her other clients. Really easy to get connected to if you find the elusive social worker. Figure out the most expensive line item in your budget and get it as low as you can live with. Most likely it's housing. If your housing is more than you can afford, all the small tweaks you do to save money on groceries or packing a lunch every single day are going to be high effort and low impact. Draw a circumference around your place of work that puts you within a livable commute and choose the cheapest place you can safely live that isn't a food desert. Get roommates if you have to. Learn where to shop. Going to the grocery store will not save you money. The Latin markets, the Asian markets, the halal and African markets and Indian markets each have their own specialties. Stockpiling is a necessity. Always have basics like flour, sugar, and spices you use. Stock canned goods you use frequently. Buy in season, and avoid things like starfruit and avocados when possible. The dollar store is in general not a good place to save a buck, though there are deals there if you look around. Community garden in the summer, or just garden if you have the land for it. Hunt and fish during the fall and winter. A deep freezer, even if shared with friends, is a must. The bread outlet store will save you lots of money. The thrift store is an amazing place for dishware, clothes, and electronics, especially cables. Add to this, take advantage of coupons and rewards cards. My grocery store has its own app, so you can electronically clip coupons, and when you check out, you just type your phone number into the keypad before swiping your card. Boom, coupons applied. Walgreens also works this way. Take the time to download the apps and go to the websites to set up accounts. Walgreens basically gives you free money. It's only a few bucks at a time, but it helps. On top of learning to cook, try to buy healthy food. Fresh vegetables usually cost less than frozen pizzas. If you can't afford meat all the time, beans and eggs are great tasty ways to incorporate more protein in your diet. Don't bank with Bank of America or Wells Fargo. Those banks might give decent service if you have got 6 figures in your savings, but not if you have got $6 in your checking. Credit unions, USAA if you're eligible, and literally almost any other bank is a better option than those con artists. Bake your own bread. If you have access to oven, you'll get bread. You'll get heating of your apartment extra. It's easy. Loaf lasts a long time and the cost is nothing compared to same quality bread bought in a store. Bet it's even cheaper or made similar to the cheapest bread, but the quality you'll get. That's a $5 loaf stuff we are talking about. PM me for recipes, as I bake my own bread, and I can do $ math as well for you. For math we'll need to sit down in front of the Excel, and I'm on my phone now, plus I'd need to know energy consumption of your oven and such. Grow your own garden for food. Use layering and jackets instead of heaters. And if you are trying to make money, go ahead and sue any third-party company that calls your household without consent after 9 PM. It's apparently illegal. ETACA food stamps are available to people in poverty. Even if you have a job, you can be eligible for up to $200 a month in food stamps. The cleanest public bathrooms are in hotel lobbies and hospitals. Just act like you know where you're going and dress decent. You'll never be stopped. Best place to shop for nice clothing is Goodwill and hospice stores. Also, Ross and Burlington. Dress cheaply but neat. It will help lift you out of poverty by building relationships with people. Men, look for work as a laborer. This will get you into the trades where people are paying $100K a year to swing a hammer. I started as a site cleaner, sweeping up dust. 5 years later I have a general contractor's license and a realtor's license. Save your money. Stay living poor for as long as possible. As Too Short says, get in where you fit in / don't buy a $100K car before you buy a house. I lived off $200 a month for years. I was able to save almost $100K in my first year of business because I still live like I'm poor. Use a tracker for spending that groups into categories. One category or several need to show you what money you spent that wasn't needed at all or was more costly than needed. It's basically all the advice on here as one thing. The debt snowball. Basically, write down the debts you have and their current balances. Everything like credit cards, cars, student loans, and so on should be on the list. Then, look to see what the smallest amount is. Set all of your other payments to minimum and pour as much money as you can possibly afford into paying off the smallest debt. Once it is paid off, add that payment amount to the next smallest amount and get that paid off. Continue that until your debts are paid. In the event that you have debts of similar amounts, choose the debt with the highest interest rates to pay first. Also, do not add more debt. Avoid swiping your credit card like the freaking plague. Also, if you have multiple credit cards, close all but your oldest account the second you pay the balance off. It may take you years to accomplish, but this is the most effective, tried and true way to eliminate debt. Tottenous pizzas. Get the combination. You get the most pizza by weight for the money you are spending. If you get them on sale, they are about $1 a pop. You only need to eat 2 a day and then a snack to get the calories you need for the day. That's about $60 a month just for the pizza. You get 24g out of the 30g of protein it recommends for the day, and you are well within the daily values for fats, carbs, and sugar. When you add up the TOTINOS $60.83/MO, the MULTIVITAMIN $2.65/MO, and your snack peanut butter W/banana $7.00, you can live well under $80 a month for food.